Show me live. Okay, I am live. Good. Okay, they show me live on the Twitch dashboard. Okay, they're showing that. Okay, good. I'll have that muted. Alright, that's up. Everything seems to be going. I've got a little lo-fi, so welcome everyone to this little chatting stream. I'm not sitting at the computer that I do iRacing with. I'm at the computer that I make the vehicles at, with Photoshop, as well as if I edit footage, I do it from this one's an older computer, so that's the reason I don't have the webcam, and it's out of enough to where I just can't do a lot of like I couldn't use Discord and iRacing at the same time, or it would cause a lot of like latency issues. So yay. So what we're going to be doing now is basically this is the ARCA car I made earlier today for Briar, LaPradd, and the guys over at Ledford Billiard Supply, based on his Coke series scheme. There's McConey setup shop at the back. That's one I made for the Billiard Supply. If I switch over let me switch over to Twitter for a second. And see, there's the lo-fi music. I'm using Japanese lo-fi, and there's Trading Paints open. So the reason that I'm doing this is I got a new notification. Ooh, what is it? Ooh, another person liked it. But I posted this, and it's got some traction. It's got 8 likes and 1 retweet. The retweet was from Jeff McConey. The likes, Daniel Adam, who apparently is a German oval sim racer since 1999. I'm glad Daniel liked it. Benjamin White. Of course, Nicholas Guzman, MK3 Jetta. I've seen Nicholas in some of the chat. There's Jeff McConey. Briar, of course. Logan Sheets, who is a part of Lockdown Racing and a friend of Briar. And then, of course, Ledford Billiard Supply and Cameron Ledford. So that was really cool. You know, it's getting some traction. If I do the tweet activity, of course. 135 impressions. It's still my second most impressed tweet. I'm sorry, I've got to show you what really set me, got me going the other day. Oh yeah, it's under tweets and replies because I replied to Alfredo. When Alfredo did his don't let me get a hold of Photoshop again to remove his head, I was like, that's cute. And, edited the Bane quote. You think Photoshop is your ally? You merely adopted the Photoshop. I was born into it, molded by it. I didn't see an unaltered photograph until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blended images. So if I dig in here where I can look at the tweet activity, I'm sorry, 272 impressions. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Twitter main page for whenever I add this later. And Discord, yeah, my bot is going. Yes, I have a Discord server. It should work with ! Discord if you want to join. If you're not already one of the few members that's of it. One thing I will let you know is I don't stand for toxicity. Now, one of the things you'll notice here with the Ledford ARCA car, and especially on the Silverado, is I did some stuff with the logo, and I'm going to go ahead and go into this, how I ended up doing this on the car. First thing, or on the actual image, first thing I did was take the magnetic lasso tool and get the background. And then I used the background eraser tool, clicked it, and then delete. So anything now that I want to delete will do that. But I no longer wanted to do that. I wanted to turn it to a darker shade of green. So one thing I started doing is I started going through here, selecting states. And I was doing this during Briar's stream where he was playing Madden NFL football with one of his friends. And basically what I would do here is then just take the paintbrush tool and go over this. And I did that I grabbed each of the states and the areas, made sure to get where the shadows for the letter, try to make it as clean as possible, and that's how I ended up with that image. And then, of course, whenever I put it on there, I put a little bit of a stroke with the color of white. I think it's about 1 or 2 pixels to make it pop a little bit on that darker green. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at doing the 87 Monte Carlo. Now, I know some people are like, well, I have the Ford, the Ford Mustang, or the Ford F-150, or and that. The reason I'm not going to be doing the Fords on this is because it's the 88 car, and that's Dale Jr.'s, and it's always been a Chevrolet. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look into the car patterns, but I'm going to start turning some of these on and off until I find one that goes, I like the way that it looks, and it gives me an idea for what I want to do. Maybe that's a possibility. 005 is a possibility. But there's not enough for the black. I'm going to look at 005 again. Believe that was it. It wasn't 005. It was 009. Yeah. That's going to be my take from it. So one thing I always like to do is I like to take the TGA file out, turn the others off, and then drag it back down here. Now, I'm going to switch color. I'm going to go to a lighter shade of green. If I really needed to, I could go back over here and grab the color off of there. I was just a little off of what I chose. So now I have a choice. Do I want the lighter shade of green? That's there, and the darker there. Maybe. Let me go back and pop a look at some of these others. See if I can find something that screams. Ooh! That one! I'm sorry, I just saw this and was like, yep. Boop. So I'm going to pop that one back up here. Turn them off. I'm sorry. This one is it. So, I know the dark I'm going to use where the red is. So, the dark green is there. The lighter... You know what? I'm actually going to make that a little brighter. And I'm going to start going through and doing these colors on here. Just making sure they're all... that all of the areas that were the main green are now that. So I'm going to go ahead and then go to black for the blue parts. Now another thing I'm going to do is I believe the color change logo. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to change that from red to black. Another thing I'm going to do, since I'm still on this layer, is over here where this section is, I'm going to go ahead and recapture that main color, and where the red is showing through with the Goodyear, and especially there in the Die Hard, I'm going to select those layers and go back and make sure I'm on the right layer. That's easy to do. You know, you just inadvertently get off of which layer you were working on. And if you do that, if you saw it like quickly go back to being normal, just Control Z, which is your quick undo. So now I'm going to zoom out. Okay, that looks like a good starting point. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the ARCA car and just start going through here and capturing these layers and duplicate. Put them over on the 87. Now, if you notice, some of the stuff doesn't exactly line up the way that it would normally. Now, one thing I'm going to do is turn on the wireframe. The reason I have the wireframe on is to see where stuff marries up. So, these three. So move them about where I think that they need. Now I'm going to reposition the Ledford to stretch more across the hood. You know what? I'm actually going to make it a little bigger than I did the last time. The 3-ball, I'm going to move up above there. The 10-ball, I'm going to bring it in a little bit and put it I know I'm making the 10-ball a little smaller than I did the last time, but that's fine. Now I'm going to back out. I like the positioning of that. McConey Setup Shop logo. I'm going to just center it on the rear deck lid. What was layer 2? Layer 2 was the Ledford Billiards supply that I had on the rear of the car. Now I'm going to zoom in. The thing is with the 87s, I don't exactly remember where everything lines up on this. Now that's the cool thing, is I can go in and check a few things. 15 ball. I'm gonna, instead of putting it up top, I'm gonna put it down here on the bumper. I'm gonna do the same thing with the 6 ball. Because I believe the numbers will be there on the where the rear numbers, or where the rear lights would normally be. Sorry, I had to get a swig of water there. Alright. Now I'm going to go up here and turn on the number block to see what I can do here. So I know layers 3, 4, and 5 are these on the side of the car. So now I'm going to zoom in and just take care of these. Layer 3 is Ledford. I'm going to have the F off the car a little bit. Now this, because on the ARCA car I didn't have as much room here on this part, on the door, so I had to move the billiard supply around. Now the way I was able to make some of this, the text look that way, with the two-tone color, is I took the logo here and basically just went around, removed the background, and I knew inside of Ledford I wanted that to be white, so I made this white. Base, I did the same thing with the billiard supply. I forgot I didn't remove the stuff in the A, so. But I made these white, and I'm going to show you on the billiard supply of one thing that I was able to do is while this was white, there I didn't capture that L, but as you see, when I went in there, it left sort of a two-tone color, and I just basically copied, each. I made sure not to get the rack of balls, but I copied that layer and then posted it on the truck as I was working on it. So that was how I was able to get those to look right. So now I know these three, I need to duplicate the layers and flip them 180 basically. I know it's pretty much going to match up where I want, but I'm still going to Ledford I'm going to have up there. I'm still going to keep it there. Billiard, play around with it a little bit. And there we go. And supply. There we go. So Ledford billiard supply is on both sides. It's on the front and it's on the rear of the car. There's most of the stuff done. That's most of what I would do. See, now I have the numbers ready. So one thing I've noticed with doing the numbers over here is it just doesn't look the way that I want it to exactly. So what I'm going to do is go back to and remake the 88 number, and basically I just copied that 88 there. And in steps, take out what I need. So, and of course, as you tell, oh, I was going to say, I thought the image wasn't going to work. If you basically have it where it won't want to take, you know, like if you're trying to manipulate an image and it won't do anything, it could be your, the mode is wrong. So go to image mode and make sure it's on RGB color. If it's on index color, you won't be able to do much. So, I know I want the light color on the inside of the 88. So I'm going to go in here. And then just get a paintbrush. Now that right there doesn't look too bad, but I don't have the dark green color. Now what I'm doing here is I'm just taking off the trademark image. And since I did that, it's going to leave sort of a weird looking option there. So I'm going to select the bigger image and make sure I have the right color. There we go. Deselect. And zoom back out. That doesn't look too bad the way that it is, but I know the black parts on the outside, I think I want those to be the dark green, and I'm going to leave the black on the 88 on the interior of the 88 number, just to just to give sort of a different tone to it. But that's how I basically do the numbers. Now, I'm going to duplicate this layer to the 87, but I'm going to call it number. So when I go here, the number's there. Now what I'm going to do is do the free transform on this and bring it in a little bit. Now as you can tell, it's pretty close to the size because it takes these newer versions take proportions into account. But if you need to take in just one, you know, like scrunch it in from the top but not from the sides, hold shift down while you're doing it, hit enter, and I know it's there, so I'm going to duplicate the number again. I do Control T to free transform, right click, flip 88 or flip 180 degrees. Do that. Do it one more time. And call this roof number. Now I've got this. I'm just stretching it to where I need it to be to fill that spot. Now I'm going to go back to number and duplicate it again. The reason I did the first number is because it's the one I know that's facing the right way for this. So I'm going to go up here. I know I'm going to bring that in a bunch. There's that number in place. So I know I'm making the nose number now. And I'm going over trying to remember where this is. There it is, right there. And Shaka Z. Now if I go up here and turn off number blocks, you notice that last one that I did is not showing. So I'm going to find rear and nose number, but instead of leaving them where they are, I'm going to move them above in the layer order and put them above car decal. Now, color change. Color change 2. Now I'm going to zoom in on the Goodyear logo. Make sure I have the right layer. And start getting the parts for this. And make them. That's the one thing I don't like is the Goodyear logo just looks odd, especially if you do it, try to change the color that way. But there's no other way of really doing it. Die Hard, I'm going to do the same thing here. Select each of the layers. You can also, with the each of the letters. But if you have the layer selected, you should be able to do it by just dropping the paint bucket. But on the for some reason on the Goodyear logos it just doesn't look as good because of the way that they're made. It picks all of the stuff instead of just the the letters. Like here, as you see, it picked all of this. So like the sort of the winged foot or the winged the winged shoe. It picks all of that, so it doesn't leave a lot of the detail. That's the only thing that sucks about that part. Now the helmet base, I'm just gonna turn it black. It's because I have stuff selected, so turn that off. Like if you notice paint not going where you want to, it's because you have something selected. So just go up to a tool like the rectangle tool or the lasso tool that you're using. As you see the dotted line, just right click and then once you have that going, gives you the option to deselect. So right now that's pretty much most of what I would do to this. Now I do have the name, Briar name, and I'm going to duplicate that layer to the 87. I'm just going to zoom in on this. And basically what I'm going to do is have it be as large as the window. You know what? No. I'm going to have it stretch back a little bit. And duplicate the layer again. Flip it over, and basically same thing on this side. Just make sure it's pretty much right over the door. There we go. So now I know that that's pretty much done. First thing I'm going to do is turn off the wire. Now I'm going to save this out and I'm going to save it as a PNG. So now I have the 87 saved. Now I want to see what it looks like in Sim. So I'm going to go back to Trading Paints and put in 87, the Monte Carlo. Now, as a Pro member, I have the option to be able to do custom numbers. So I choose custom number, paint, choose new paint, upload paint. I'm just going to put in here car 88. You don't have to, but you can. And now the Ledford LaPradd 88 is there. So now I'm going to go into game. Now, I don't own this car, so how can I see it? See, it's not in my collection of owned vehicles. Go to store. And find, like I have mine set for NASCAR, there's the 87. Click on car model. And there it is. Now the 88's not showing up really good on that. It's showing up great here on that door. It's showing up great on the door here, up top. I like how Briar's name turned out on both sides. I really like how this has turned out. Except for the rear number. Hey, Twig. Yeah, it's snowing. Yeah, it was lightly snowing here too. But we're not, we're supposed to get under an inch of snow. But yeah, the 88 here, I don't like how it's not popping there. So what I'm going to do here is go back to the 88 here, and I'm going to reverse the colors. So I'm going to grab that one, but I am going to take that, and now here it's going to be that lighter shade here, and on the inside I'm going to do this, make the inside darker. Maybe if I actually pick the right color, it would be much better. So there we go with this. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer back to the 87. Put it up here for rear number. Take it over here. Scrunch it all the way down what I need. Return on the number blocks to be sure I have it set to the right size. Shaka zing. Turn the numbers off. And take out the old one. Save. Back to iRacing templates. Change it to PNG because it's defaulting to PSD. The Ledford 87. Save. Since that's done, go back in here. Re-upload the paint to the site, and once that's done, we should see it pop out or pop in. There we go, with the darker 88, and I kind of like. Yeah, I mean that works for me. Instead of having, because I have the light color, it looks like it fades in there. The 15 and the 6 ball look okay on the rear. I positioned the Ledford stuff just right. The Ledford Billiard supply looks good on that side. There we go. I'm happy with how this is. Now, let me go back and make sure there's no window net color. some of these cards have options to change, like window netting. Color change bit, and I think that's what it is. Let me look and see. Okay, I think I'd like it better. You know what? I'm actually going to make them black. Save, and then re-upload, and we'll see what it looks like. Make sure I change the right, make sure I change the right things. Hee hee. Just making sure that that's what's changed. Of course, it may also change the interior color of the car too. Maybe not. The cockpit is that light blue. Of course, I don't see anywhere else that has the light blue on it. Let me make sure that it did. Yep, it put it there. Oops. Okay, so it didn't save that, but, you know, that's apparently something I can't change at this point. So now what I'm going to do is get the photos I need of the car. The program I use to do this is called Share X. And basically I can use print screen and it'll let me select an area. So what I'll do is I'll take the mouse, put it up in the corner to do Shift X, and then come back in and grab, because the mouse, if you notice up in the upper corner where I left it, that's where the mouse is on the shot. So I'm going to do this. It's going to pop up there in the lower corner. So I'm going to come here, get the car about where I want, do the same thing again. And this is how I grab the shot of the car to include on, on the site on Trading Paints. Let that disappear. Get Ledford off, get the rear shot. Now, if anything, I might make the good. I'm glad it's helping somewhat, Twig, especially with Japanese lo-fi. No, the music I'm listening to is on YouTube. If you just search Japanese lo-fi, it's a live channel that's going on. Let me get back into iRacing here. There we go. Now, I know I didn't capture a side-on shot. There we go. Get a shot of the passenger side. There we go. Get a shot of the name for Briar with that. And there we go. Now that is the photos captured. To check the photos, just bring up your documents folder, look for Share X, and then the current month, the current year and month. And we're still in January, so sort by date. I always have it sort by date, so that the most recent shots are up top. So there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the most recent 8 shots that I've taken, which will be of this car. The next row starts the ARCA car. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, the tutorial, yeah. Yeah, I mean, doing this stuff, I mean, just by experimenting, that's how I learned, you know, over the last year, is just experimenting, see what it looks like on the car. But, you know, when you don't have the car, the great thing is now with the UI, you know. Oh, look, Twig, you haven't seen this yet. Look what I bought recently. It's the COT. Uh-oh. Means when you get home from college, I'm ready for it. I haven't driven it yet, but... but for cars that you don't own, you can always go to the store, and same thing, you can look at the car models. Now, if you're doing a custom number, you know, it'll be whatever number's in the paint job. However, if it's a car that you don't own, yeah, you want to know how lucky it was? I bought something else, and I got a discount of like 40% off because I bought 40 pieces over the career. So basically, I got a little off the track that I was going to, and I got the COT for free. But yeah, like here, instead of having the number 77, which would have been... Ironically, I inadvertently picked the car that I did the stuff on. Oh, 2 weeks? Okay. Oh, this one, it actually did update to be... Oh, because for some reason it changed. It must have applied it to all vehicles. But I can't change the colors. Yeah, this is the F-150 lower decks vehicle that I made. So I can't change the numbers. But I did a thing... over on one of the other cars that I picked this down and I applied it, and apparently the swatch row, it applies to all cars. So that was why it was showing there. But normally it would be like 64 or whatever. So yeah. But I just applied it in the thing to see what it would look like on the F-150. The lower decks vehicle. Built for tough Starfleet Command. Yeah. But yeah, this is a way that you can do stuff with this is a way that you can do cars that you don't own and do a paint scheme for them. Well, you remember what's... Hey, Twig, you remember what's on the regular 87. The thing that really set, you know, somebody we know off. Look at that. It's the Wrangler Ford Dale Earnhardt Sr. Wrangler Ford Chevrolet thing that really cheesed that one guy off. But now to upload these, you just upload. You select the paint. And of course, I upload these with, you know, to the community. Then you select the vehicle for, no, Chevrolet Monte Carlo 87. So let's see. There we go. So I have it set for their custom number, of course. 88. Now I'll just select the images and I go there. Now I pick the images that I want to start with. So I'm going to start with that one, and then of course just put them in the order that you want them to appear on the thing. So there we go. Rim color, because I have a feeling this would be, matte black. Public, and that. Add paints to showroom. Well, somebody already added the ARCA car. And that. So, one thing I'm going to do here is copy the link. Go over to Twitter. And somebody else did find the truck that I made. Here we go. Put the link in there. Yep. Because I can't put YUP because that's trademarked by the guy from Storage Wars. Yep. Made another at Briar, LaPradd, at Ledford Billiard Supply. Junior Motorsports paint scheme during a Twitch live stream. Gotta love the making cars for at Trading Paints. Now I'm going to attach this image of the car and tweet. There we go. Oh Lord. Briar just found that one. Let's see if he's found Discord now. And yet again. Add in the photos to Discord. So, yep. One day, or no, not one day. My God. Here soon. Yeah. One day soon, we're going to have a Briar fleet of cars. Come on, give me the capital L. There we go. So yeah, that's basically ways that you can do paint schemes. Now, with me doing the car patterns, that's how I can come up with some of the designs. Now, there's a lot of people I know. Twig in the chat, he would be better at designing little things, but there's like a lot of these little aspects. Let me turn the wire back on. That it's not exactly clear of what you're looking at. Let me show you more on the Impala. This area below the fender that has the little black marks. I'll show you what section that is here in a second. That's actually right up here at the door. So, like, if I, on the Mark Martin car that I made and updated, I didn't realize that at the time that and I had to play with it over time till I got the colors more matched up. For example, no, not blending options. I want to zoom out. Fit the screen. That's some of the stuff with the tape. Now, to get the numbers on top of the existing pieces, I had to put them above the card decal layer so that Photoshop would show them above that layer. And there's a bunch of little things that you're like, oh, that, it's this way. For example, on the ARCA cars, get back over here. The headlights here on the side of the front are not the ones that are actually the layers that they pick from. It's the bigger ones. So learning little things like that will let you know a few different things. Like there's some of these parts here I don't exactly know where they line up on the car. Now there's some cars that will allow you to paint the interior. There's some cars that won't. I know some of the late models, like the super lates, and I know the what's it called in Sim? The Monte Carlo Super Sport, which is the late model, will let you do that. But yeah, some of these cars have parts in a weird place, and then again, you can always turn off the stuff that you don't want. And here is the truck that I run last night, the Rusty's incredibly lackluster Gary Greenlee vehicle. I may have created a team called Lackluster Motorsports, so yay. And Twig, all I'm gonna tell you is don't look at Discord. Oh, look, rolls. Oh, wait. Lackluster Motorsports. Uh-oh, you may be a part of it. Ha 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 ha. I have drafted you in there without your knowledge. Ha 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 ha. Mine is an evil laugh. But with the recent update, they also put the legacy cars up at top now. So, the DW12, the COT, and the free, Silverado, yeah. Although last night I may have been working on this version of Silverado while I was meant to be working on the one for Briar without realizing it for a few minutes till I realized, wait, why is that? Where is the Camping World logo? And may have realized that after I'd done a bunch of work on the vehicle. So yeah. Hopefully this stream did help some individuals, figure out some things to do with the templates. Now, if you're wondering where you can get your templates, if you go over to Trading Paints, and you go into a vehicle, let's say it's one that you don't already have paint schemes for, or one that you don't own. So, for example, I'm going to go with the Indy Pro 2000 PM18. If you click here where it says Paint Options, choose New Paint, it brings up this menu here, and get the template. You click on it, it'll ask you to save. You click Save. It's a zip file. open the zip file, and there's the PSD file, and then extract it to wherever you keep your templates, and then you can open them in there. For me, I keep them on my D drive. I have a template folder. All these folders up here, with the exception of output schemes, are the vehicles. Like there's the 34 Legends. For example, NASCAR, I have the 87s in there. The current COT. There's the Gen 6 cars. Fast pasta, I inadvertently saved the one. The next gen. There's the 3 next gen cars. There's the Xfinity templates. Or if I go to ARCA, I have that ARCA template multiple makes, which once it opens, I can change. There's a Gen 6 Chevrolet looking one. Toyota. That's the Camry. There's a Mustang looking one. There's the Gen 4 Toyota Camry. The Gen 4 Fusion. The Gen 4 Dodge Charger. And of course, this bog standard Impala. Now, basically, I had to find parts and make my own template for those. The Fusion one I was able to find off of somebody. Now, the only bad part is that the grill up at top, since there is the opening there in the car, it doesn't show, it puts some stuff in a weird spot. But yeah, if you're lucky, you can be able to find those type of things anywhere, especially if you look, on the iRacing forums. You'll be able to find some of the links to where somebody's made their own template for a particular make. It's also some things I did for the Super Lakes as well. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for this stream. Don't know if I'll be back on tonight for anything iRacing related. I may try to stream a little something this weekend. May do an official race, or may see if I find a hosted race that looks interesting. But guys, hope everybody had a good time. This Twitch stream, the VOD will probably be up at some point tomorrow. The VOD, the VOD will be live on Twitch as soon as this, but on YouTube, it'll probably be live at some point tomorrow. I've got to make a thumbnail for the stream from yesterday with the truck race at Chicagoland, and then that one should be up maybe at some point tonight. But yeah, usually I'll try to put these VODs up a day later, around 24 hours later. That way Twitch doesn't get mad at me and all that. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the day. Peace out and take care.